Peace, family. What's going on? It's your boy Rashad here, man. Back with another video, back with another episode. If you're listening to this on all the audio platforms out there, I appreciate you all tuning in. Hey, listen, I know it's been a minute on YouTube. I do apologize. I don't really have a reason. It has just been pure laziness. One thing I'm trying to work on is not having excuses, because I made many excuses on why I stopped recording videos. As you can see, if you're watching this on video, my background that I had, my lovely green wall, it fell off, and it's kind of hard to put it back up right now. So as you can see, you see this blank wall, and I was using it as an excuse not to be back on the video side, but I need to do that, man, because I owe it not only to you all who tune in, who love what I have to say or provide feedback, but also need to prove it to myself not to make excuses. And whatever you have, that's what you got, and it will get to where you want to get to at some point. So no more excuses. My goal is to stay as consistent as possible. I have learned to make an active decision, and this is the beginning of that active decision. Hold me to it. All right, so listen, I'm not gonna make this too long. Miss you all. I had to take a 2-week break, 3-week break, whatever, just to kind of get my mind right. And I think what's important is that as long as you stay consistent, as long as you show up, it's all gonna work out in the end. It doesn't matter if you drop every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, whatever it is. Life happens, things are going to throw you off, and sometimes you have to just realize what's most important, right? As much as I love doing this, life is just important, and really embracing the nuances and the good things in life, it's just as important to get back, to help me get back to this space. So I appreciate you all being so patient with me. And listen, past couple weeks been very interesting. Some guys know, some people know that, in my journey of life, thing that I've been a part of the past year has been therapy. Therapy has been one of those life-changing things, and I still have a lot to work on. And within my past couple weeks of exploring therapy, I've learned that I am relatively angry with a lot of stuff that I've experienced in my life. Now, before I go into that, or not go into that, because I don't really think it's truly appropriate, what I've learned is that a lot of the experiences that I've had, and I've had a great childhood growing up, and I've had just a very blessed life for the most part. There's a lot of moments where I've taken a lot of punches in my chin, and I just held on, like, I just kept taking it, kept taking it, and never had a true chance to process, actually feel those emotions, because I've always had the brush my shoulder off mentality. And at some point, man, you're gonna snap, and at some point, you're going to just feel it all. I think once I admitted the fact that I was angry, all these emotions that I felt like I really needed to go through that and to continue to go through that. Today I'm in a good space. Today I'm happy. I'm very grateful. But a lot of the experiences that I'm starting to play back and think about, there's different moments of anger that I just want to feel, and not necessarily take it out on anybody, but to really feel it and really just, let it go truly, because the ultimate goal of this whole process is to try to let it go, man. But that's not why I'm here. I'm not here for that. I just wanted to make a quick video, quick episode. Thank you for those who tune in on the audio platforms, man. Make sure subscribe to it, or check out my YouTube channel at Rashad Young. Both links will be in the description, whether it's on YouTube or on the pod. I wanted to talk about how we as people are the judge and juries of our life. Now, when you think about it, as I think the biggest misconception of ourselves is the fact that so many people have perspective of us that we believe everything that is kind of pointed towards us, right? And I was thinking about this when I was in therapy. I guess I keep going back and forth. I guess I'll mention this part of my experience. I learned a lot of times, the things that used to upset me the most was because of things that were said to me about me, and every time I wanted to prove myself to somebody, my ego really came in the way. And what I mean is that the person that tried to defend what I think is important, which is my character, or my ability on things, that person, that ego side, will drive out, man. But it will protect me, because I used to be so hurt by the words that were said to me, because I believed them. One thing that I've learned in the past, I mean, I've known this for a while. I guess it's just something I'm admitting more now, is that I've been relatively insecure my entire life. I've been insecure about a lot of things, and I know for some people are like, well, how does that work when you tried these things, and I think you find a way to battle through those insecurities, but insecurities come back, and they come back a lot stronger. and they have hindered me from a lot of different stuff in this life. And I feel like, while I am relatively grateful for the things that I have achieved, I feel like a lot of things have been held back or delayed simply because of my insecurities moving forward, right? So I think, for example, my first book came out in 2018. As you all know, I have not released a book since then. I have written different things. I low key could have probably 4 or 5 books out right now. And each time I've getting to a point where I'm hitting a breakthrough, that level of insecurity comes back. Oh, you can't do that again. Nobody's going to read it. Like all these negative thoughts. And so going back to that concept of the judge and the jury, the judge is somebody that makes the final decisions of makes the verdict, based off of what they hear from the jury. And when I think of the jury, I think of the people around us that place these, thoughts and perceptions on us, and we take that information and then we find ourselves at the stand, not only being the jury, also being the judge. And oftentimes, what happens is that we take that and it leads to a relatively negative experience. A lot of us do a lot of different things um, to show what we think we want people to see us as, instead of just showing people who we truly are, because of the constant need to feel like that we have to prove ourselves to people, or to feel like that we have to be accepted by these group of people, feel like that we are a lot, we are worth, our value is worth a lot more, and we offer a lot more to the table than what people will think and what people say about us. And it's really a damaging thing to know how far we have gotten as a society, where we judge others without truly knowing who they are. We don't ask questions. We don't ask for clarification. We don't even say, we don't even be bold enough to even say, hey, you know what? I heard this about you. I want to know if it's true. I would respect that a lot more, right? If you had a perception of me, you just straight up ask me, like, I heard this about you. Like, why is that? Like, why do people say this about you? Just a direct question. Obviously, everybody's not going to be as open and okay with that, but I think that's a way for us to get to that point of understanding each other, if we really just ask those questions. Because what happens is that we're all on trial, man. We're literally putting ourselves on trial every single day, judging ourselves, comparing ourselves to other people. We're judging ourselves in a negative light often, and that goes back to the concept, as I will always talk about, how unhappy we are as people, because we're constantly judging ourselves, and then we're constantly overthinking about something that's already happened, or overthinking about something that hasn't happened, but because of the previous experience, it's just a constant tug of war, man. And I think it's a very dangerous thing to go about, just life. Like, how do we get here, right? And, we can use different components of social media, or we can use the internet or whatever, but I feel like that's always been the case. I think it just looks a lot more different now, because it is more magnified and more things are thrown into our face, and we have more access to things that we haven't had before. And I think that is the most dangerous thing for the human species. Everything else in the world is in sync. Now, and obviously, I don't know if animals can speak. Obviously they got their own language. We can't understand what they're saying, but I wonder if, everything else in the world, nature, life itself, feels the same way as humans, right? Obviously, there's parts of the world that are altered because of humanity, and they go through their own different shifts, but it's not the same as humanity. We're constantly affecting something or someone else. Everything else is relatively in sync. They do what they feel like they are designed to do, to live their life, to live their purpose, and they go on. And maybe that's the danger of humanity and free will. I don't know. Those are questions that I'm still trying to figure out. Those are questions that I think about often. But I think, when you just think about the judge and the jury of your life, you have to realize that the most valuable piece to that is you. What do you think about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? How do you think you present yourself into the world? Right? That's the more powerful thing. And so it happens that, we have these experiences, we get rejections at jobs, we get rejections going to school, we get rejected by loved ones or rejected by family or whatever. And then that constant buildup and constant taking that punch in the chin creates a lot of hurt people. They feel like they got to protect themselves. They feel like they got to feel, they got to be strong and everything else. And there's moments where you do have to be strong, but we also have to go back, hopefully, to have a better understanding of, man, that did hurt me. But that's not me. I know me, I know what I bring. I know the value I have. Because if we allow people to continue to dictate their perceptions and thoughts and their decisions on us, you will never truly live a fulfilled and sustained life. We all make mistakes. Doesn't matter where you're at in life. Doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter about any of that. Some of the things that happen, or some of the things that we do, simply have happened because somebody else, something has affected us to the point where we made a decision. We use this as a way to protect ourselves. Use this as a way to hide from the pain. We used this, done this, or we became angry. We went to a different route of escapism to protect ourselves from the actual thought that we believe from somebody else, instead of taking the time to really grasp in the moment and realize the value of yourself. Because at the end of the day, don't nobody know you better than yourself than you. That's why it's so important to take the time to get to know ourselves. We can get past that point. The fact I can tell you on this camera right now, one of my biggest insecurities is that I'm insecure. That's growth. Just seriously, but I'm kidding. You know, I'm serious and kidding at the same time. But it's something that I've had to finally admit. That's a challenge I would challenge anybody out there, is to truly admit, you know, what is it? What is the biggest thing that you feel like is holding you back because of perception, or because of thoughts, or because of decisions that have happened, or because of actions of others? Really understand that, embrace that, and then forgive. You have to let it go. You cannot hold on to it. Because if you hold on to it, you're going to hold on to it, and it's going to hinder you. It's going to continue to hold you back. And I said forgive. I didn't say forget. You gotta let it go. Love you all. Appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite audio platform. Also appreciate you all checking me out on YouTube. Till next time, peace.